Right. Okay. I feel like we could go for a bit of a tonal shift, right? Right. A little bit. The Call of Leadership, Volume 11. Ring close. Only 4 more friends to make. Live, laugh, bake. Okay. Right. Warnings. Warnings. What are they gonna warn us about this time? Mind control. Okay. I don't think we've had mind control yet. It's not gonna be anything that crazy, is it? Not that. It's always throwing me out in the whatever. Anyway. Alright. Volume 11, The Call of Leadership. Leadership. Dealerships. Indeed. Alright, let's see what you got for me. It's a beautiful moonlit night on Alternia. The sky is clear, a cool breeze is blowing, and even the unbearable screeching of the steel-throated bat cricket sounds a little sweeter than usual. And yet, a moment of panic hangs in the air. Gee, I wonder fucking why. Dave, are you okay? Hey, oh god, what has she done? Dave, please tell me that's just grub sauce. Please just be grub sauce, please just be grub sauce, please just be grub sauce. Karkat, stop being so melodramatic. It wasn't even me who did it. Frowny face. Okay, fine. It was my fault. I admit it. But I'm sure he'll be fine. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Karkat. It's no biggie. I mean, this is obviously the shittiest situation I could possibly be in right now. And like, my lawyers will be in touch, don't even think that they won't. But also, it is literally fucking grub sauce, so like, chill for 2 seconds, okay? Oh, thank God. Like, I know the idea of me having to swap out my spoiled, soiled, ketchup-encrusted pants is getting you all hot and bothered under that sweater, but damn. This is a picnic, dude. There are children present. And just like that, everything's alright. Sure. You have single-handedly revolutionized the art of picnicking on Alternia. You've got a huge checkered blanket, a car-sized wicker hamper, an unholy quantity of foods in Tupperware containers, a lively crowd of your best and most recently acquired friends. Everything one could possibly need. Indeed. Shit's quaint as all fuck out here. Excellent. Quaint as fuck. It's wonderful. We love it when things are quaint. It gives this, quaint. It's a nice feeling. It's a peculiar feeling. Yes, indeed. So how many tentacles would you say she has, roughly? Let me see. It's okay. Take your time. My interest is, purely scientific. I don't even know. There's too many characters here. I can't... The voices are gonna be all over. Yes, precisely. Thank you, Kanae. This is part of my studies in the field of cryptozoology. It's hardly an exact science, but you can help us make it exacter. Well, that's the problem. I really don't think there's a definite answer. She just has so many. Fascinating. Everyone seems to be having a really great time. You're a pretty good picnic host, if you do say so yourself, and why wouldn't you? You let yourself lie back on a blanket and relax, just bask in the yellow, in the green, yellow, and the red moons, suns, I forget, something, in the pink night sky. It feels like nighttime. It could be daytime, I forget. Nipetta, could you pass me one of those beautiful green pies, please? Sure, let me just... It's okay, I got this. Dude. Step off, Mao. She didn't ask for your help. Everyone's getting along so well. Yes, so well. Yes, I would call this well, like there's 12 fucking people here or something. Well... I didn't ask for your opinion on whether the mild-blood human female wanted my help or not. Oh my god, did you seriously just call her that? What is wrong with you? Guys? Humans don't even have different blood colors, you useless tool. Simply enjoying one another's company. Right, is this gonna devolve into fucking blood? I mean, the warning didn't say anything about gore, so no, probably not. Alright, that does it. I've had enough of this wishy-washy lawn meal nonsense. And I've had enough of you. Oh, thanks, Nebeta. No problem. I don't even know what that... I already forgot. Eat shit and die. Why don't you make me? It would be my pleasure. Wait, what's going on over there? They're trying to kill each other. That's what's happening. Oh no, dear God, no, not now. This is a disaster. You've got to find some way to stop this before everything you worked for collapses under the weight of pointless, shitty boy drama. You don't have a moment to lose. What's better than this? Guys being allies. Oh, hi there, Gamzee. Don't mind you, you're just trying to stop a picnic emergency. Hey, hold on, sister. Let's not be hasty. Right now, we are witnessing the birth of the greatest and, I dare say, most righteous miracle of them all. Gender motherfucking equality. It is a miracle indeed. And just like that, everything breaks apart. How wonderful, how perfect. You wake up alone. It's a cold, dark night on Alternia. The sky is overcast, a harsh wind is blowing, and the only other sound to be heard is your own breathing. Panicked, shaky. You curl up a little tighter in your puddle of blankets in the corner. You try and think back to the wonderful dream you were having, but now it all seems ruined. You are only trying to take a short rest from fomenting a revolutionary sentiment among your peers and fixing all their problems, which, as it turns out, is a full-time job. No shit. No shit. Fomenting a revolutionary sentiment and fixing all of their problems. That's, yeah, no, that's not a hobby. That's not a hobby. You just wanted to indulge your imagination for a while and skip to the part where everyone's happy already. You couldn't even do that. You couldn't even imagine a scenario where those two fuckers don't eat each other's throats. There's nothing wrong with that, right? No, there isn't. No, there isn't. But you gotta recognize fiction from reality. It all seemed so real, so full of potential, like you could get there in an instant if only you tried a little harder. But now it hits you like a cold, wet circus pie filled with cement. Your dream of hope was nothing more than that, with no basis in reality or accurate characterization. Some things are simply too good to be true, and your subconscious clearly knew that all along. It hurts, and you don't know whether to laugh, cry, or just get really, really angry about it. Or if the little logo card thing for the volume is anything to go by, let's ignore everything and bake some cookies. Or a pizza or something, whatever. Get to baking. You've made some wonderful friends over the last few weeks, months. It's been such a hectic whirlwind of non-stop amicability, you're not even sure how long you've been going. We've been going for what? What is it? Total of... Is it like 10 hours? 12? 8? 15? It's gonna be somewhere in the teens by the time we're done here. Over the course of, a few months. But, give or take. That's neither here nor there. These are all stitched together as one gigantic, fuck you kind of episode thingy. Part. No, it's not part. Yeah, I could have uploaded each individual little volume as its own video, but that would mean uploading 20 fucking videos, and no, this is one big thing. This is one big thing, because I decided it would be one big thing. So there. Yeah. You're not even sure how long you've been going. You've achieved so much on your quest, you know that for a fact. But now, looking around this empty room, filled with the ghosts of memories from a lifetime ago, you can't help but feel despondent. Maybe there are some things you won't ever be able to fix. Yeah, some things in life are just... you fail. There's no reason for it, it just doesn't work out. There's no reason. Life just sucks sometimes. Man, this blows. That could be worse, you're alive. For some reason, your thoughts turn to John. He was conspicuously absent from your dream. It feels like you haven't seen him for ages. You miss him. Without really thinking about it, you pick yourself up. You've had enough of this horrible planet for now. Your friends here will be alright without you for a while. You tell yourself that a few times, just to make sure you believe it. And then... zap! You materialize in a pleasantly familiar suburban neighborhood, standing in front of a pleasantly familiar house. Isn't this the house we started at? Isn't this our house? Maybe? It's been a while. It must be a late fall by now. There are barely any leaves left on the trees, and there's a chill in the air. But your heart fills with warmth at the prospect of hanging out with your old friend John again. While your newer friends have all been fun to spend time with, in their own ways, you can't help but feel a special kind of fondness for John. It's not like you play favorites with your chums or anything, but maybe the fact that he was the first friend you met on your journey sets him apart from the others. I mean, first impressions are very, very potent. It's nice to be back on Earth, too. You miss being able to go out in the sunshine. Your eyes wander a little, taking in the trees, the grass, the houses, before settling on the mailbox in the yard. A worrying thought occurs to you. Maybe, in getting so caught up with meeting so many new people, John has forgotten all about you. Surely, your friendship wouldn't have diminished so quickly. But were you really all that close to begin with? You still feel bad about having thrown his birthday present in the sewer all that time ago. That was just such a shitty thing to do, in more ways than one. You were a really bad friend to John, before you were friends with John. You're suddenly overcome with the urge to make it up to him. Instead of making a new friend today, why not try being a better friend to one you already have? Yeah, friendships need to be maintained as well. You can't just meet new people all the time. You gotta visit them and stuff like that. Maintain those connections, stuff like that. Taking a peek at the mailbox, there seems to be something inside. Maybe if you make absolutely sure to give it to him this time, that will start to make up for your earlier mistake. Pilfer the box. What could go wrong? What could go wrong with us meddling in affairs? It's never gone wrong before, has it? No. Yeah, that's an excellent idea. Ah shit, that's a red flag, isn't it? Fuck me. John will be so happy that the mail came with no mishap, and so grateful that you, his trusted pal, were able to make it happen. Perhaps you could even pretend it's an apology gift you got him. Wow, you've gotten so good at being a friend by now it's not even real. Wow, that entire paragraph sounds like, this is the wrong choice you made, you fucking idiot. There's basically no way this plan could backfire. Okay. Alright, fair enough. So what's the bad ending? You reach a hand inside the mailbox to grab the package, and then everything goes black. Dark. Oh wow, that's... They didn't even... Okay. Fair enough. At least it was quick. Okay, fine. It literally backfired. On second thought, that's a terrible idea. Like, holy shit, that's bad. You take a moment to slap yourself around the face for a few minutes, just to rub it in. How could you be so stupid? Look, it's easier being dumb than smart. The kind of depravity that leads one to desecrate the sanctity of friends' mailbox is what got you into this mess in the first place. Looks like the mailman forgot to put up the, the flag. The flappy wingy doodad. The bright red arm dealie on the side of the mailbox. You're quite certain that this thing is supposed to be up when there's mail to be retrieved. Even an idiot could tell you that much, and you are a first-rate idiot. You carefully raise the little red flag. That's okay. Both literally and metaphorically, we've raised plenty of red flags. Immediately, out of the corner of your eye, you spy movement in an upstairs window. It must be John, scoping out the mail again. Quick as a flash, you zap yourself out of sight and behind a nearby bush. A white cat is hanging out back there. It hisses at you, but you let a wave of crackling retcon energy dance across your palms and the kitty vanishes. It literally just straight up disappears. That's okay, fine, whatever. I guess we'll just, sure, retcon energy. It is a truth universally acknowledged that cats can do whatever the hell they want, except for taking this hiding spot, that is, which you have now commandeered in the name of friendship. Yes. Oh, this is a much better plan to surprise John. You can't believe you didn't think of it before. You know he loves pranks, and what a better prank than to be ambushed by a dear friend. You hope you're still his best friend? Dear friend? Oh god, you're getting nervous again. Oh no. Oh fuck me. You hear the front door open. Shoot, here he comes. Wait, this isn't John. Oh goodness no. Why? He appears to be some kind of famous detective type individual, but because he's wearing a fedora and a fake mustache. Or at least someone in a famous detective disguise. I wouldn't call that a fucking disguise. But what's more, you get the strange impression that the person underneath the disguise isn't John either. Now what gave you that fucking idea? Whoever it is, they make a beeline for the mailbox. Ah shit, maybe you're watching another mailbox robbery in action? That would explain the need for a disguise, you guess? They reach out their hand and all of a sudden, several things race through your mind unbidden. The smell of burning, a flash of light, pain! Without thinking, you spring into action. Oof! You grab the interloper and zap inside the house. You both materialize in midair and collapse in a heap of the floor. Outside, you hear the telltale sound of an exploding mailbox, because for some reason, you know what those sound like. Yes, because we literally just went through that trip. Phew, that was a close one. Oh lordy, that's smart. What on earth just happened? Your companion sits up in a bit of a daze. It looks like the disguise you got knocked off and in all the kerfuffle. Your hunch was right on the money. This is definitely not John Egbert. She does look oddly familiar though. You take a look out of the window, down into the yard below. Yep, it's just like your ears told you. Where once there was a mailbox, there is now a smoldering wooden stump, surrounded by debris. It's a sight to bring a tear to any mailman's eye, fake or otherwise. You turn back around to find a stranger standing over you, looking thoroughly disgruntled. She's pointing a large red spoon directly at your chest. It doesn't really come off as all that threatening, you have to be honest, although she could probably do you at least some form of injury with it. The injury likely wouldn't be all that serious, but you try to take it seriously anyway. Look, anything is a weapon. Literally anything can be used as a weapon to murder, so don't underestimate novelty giant red spoons. Anyway, just to be polite. Now hold on here, just one moment, Buster. Who are you? What are you doing in my bedroom? And what in the blue blaze is going on? Come on, spit it out. Oh no, you hate being put on the spot. And the first question was such a tough one too. Who are you? It's something you don't have a definite answer to, even after all this time. Gosh, she does seem awfully confident with that spoon. You begin to entertain the thought that this girl might simply decide to beat you to death with it. You're finding it hard to think amid all the confusion. Didn't she say that this is her bedroom? You were dead certain that this was John's house. It is John's house. It even has the tire swing and everything. And this girl, who even is she? John's never mentioned having a sister or anything before, but looking around the room, it's obvious that she lives here, and there's no trace of any of John's things. Did he move house without telling you? That thought makes you impossibly sad. Well, if you won't talk, I suppose I'll have to suss out the truth myself. How many accents am I going to go through with this character? I don't know. She looks at you very carefully for a moment before glancing over at one of the posters on the wall. It's a black and white picture of what looks like a daring group of detectives. They're drawn in a fairly minimal style, with round, ovoid heads. Immediately, her face lights up in recognition. Oh, I see. Oh, mum's the word, D. She taps the side of her... Okay, now she's British. Fuck me. She taps the side of her nose knowingly and winks, and you realize that she's trying to let you know that she knows something that you supposedly both know. But all you really know is that you have no idea what it is. Okay, so this is John. After a while, decided to be, realize they were a different person. Oh, you're very good. Pretending not to know that which you know that I know that we both know. Sure. No, you're telling her you haven't got the foggiest clue what she's talking about. Knowing stuff. How could anyone possibly accuse you of such a thing? Oh, it's alright, I won't tell anyone. Keeping incognito is one of the utmost important problem sleuths for problem sleuths like us. Always a pleasure to meet a fellow fan. He seems to be under the impression that you're some sort of cosplayer. Well, no, if he was John, but like undergoing different things, then no, they would she would recognize. Ah, fuck me, I'm overthinking this. God damn it, my brain's not. Alright, never mind. Or was that? I already fucking forgot. It's been a while. It's been too long. I forget these things. What arcs have we gone through and what we haven't done yet? Either that or an undercover agent of some sort. Oh, what the hell, you might as well roll with it. This'll be easier than pretending to be a postal worker at any rate. Hold on a moment. I've got just the thing for a fellow gentle person of taste. She puts the spoon away for a moment, which is a relief, then whips another copy of the poster and a pen out of nowhere and signs it. You've never met or heard of this girl before, and she's just straight up giving you her autograph. You take a look at that signature. The girl name reads Jane Crocker, huh? You guess this girl's name is Jane then? Sure. Now we've got that out of the way. Nice though it is to make your acquaintance. That doesn't explain what you're doing in my house. Or come to think of it, how we even got here. Well, it's all very simple actually, just a boring everyday example of an innocent bystander stepping in to save an unwitting teen from a parcel bomb with their zappy hell treasure powers. Nothing weird at all. No. You zap around the room a bit, by way of demonstration, ending up back where you started. Transportalization technology. I knew various competitors of ours had been developing something like that for a while, but I had no idea they were already doing field tests. I suppose it shouldn't surprise me. But a parcel bomb, you say? He gushed out of the window at the sad, obliterated remains of the mailbox. There was nothing anyone could do to save it or its contents. Ah shoot, Jane wasn't expecting any extremely important deliveries, was she? Potentially in the form of a significant birthday gifts or a copy of a mysterious computer game? You mean the Suburb Alpha? I'm not surprised you've heard about it. That isn't due for another week though. Oh, well that's a relief then. No harm done. I wouldn't go quite that far. Alpha notwithstanding, the fact remains that someone tried to blow me up. Yeah, that is the more concerning bit, right? God fucking damn it, this fucking game makes me not even consider that important sometimes. Okay, so some harm done. Gee, the nerve of some people. On the nerve. The nerve. The nerve. Try to murder me, You cannot fathom who could possibly want to do such a thing, and especially someone as harmless and personable as Jane here. Oh, come on, one doesn't like to state the obvious, but if I had to guess, it's probably related to my being in line to inherit one of the largest corporations on the planet. Oh, that would do it, yes. Crocker Corp has its enemies, there's no question about that. Of course, that's where her surname was so familiar. Jane is the new face of the Betty Crocker Company. You don't know what you expected. Considering what's happened on your journey so far, you should have seen this sort of thing coming. Speaking of which, you wonder aloud if anything like this has ever happened before. The only thing that could make this any more surprising is if Jane had been sent similarly life-threatening cargo on any previous occasion. Oh yes! Why, we get mailed something similar just last week in fact. Well, she seems shipper about that. You tried not to think too hard about the fact that Jane apparently fell for the exact same trick 2 weeks in a row. Father was out in the yard about to take his car out back for a soak when the blessed mailbox went up in smoke. It was quite the shock. Ever since then he's been a bit antsy about me checking the mail myself, but today it arrived while he was out. Good thing too, he would have thrown a fit if he'd known. I'm barely out of the house as it is. I'm sure he means well, but it can come off as a bit overprotective sometimes. It's a plumb ridiculous. A grown lass full of vim and vigor can take perfectly good care of herself. Yee. You don't want to pass hasty judgment on someone's familiar situation, but it sounds like Jane's father is just trying to keep her safe. It can't be easy constantly deflecting death threats away from someone determined to walk right into them. Where's a sense of self-preservation? And where's my sense of self-preservation? We don't get to talk, honestly. Although I guess bad endings don't count canonically, so I suppose it might seem strange to the uninitiated, but you sort of learn to accept it after a while. I've been dodging death ever since I can remember. People seem really determined to do me in. I simply can't explain it. Jesus, well, that must be pretty rough going. Oh god, that sounds awful actually. Being the imminent ruler of an empire must come with a fair number of people who want you gone. Thinking back to your encounter with Feferi, you suppose that you were recently part of such an attempt yourself, in a manner of speaking. You decline to mention this to Jane, and being reminded of your time on Alternia causes you to lapse into an uncomfortable silence. Jane looks around a little awkwardly before breaking it. So, not that I'm ungrateful for the fact that you appeared to have rescued me from certain peril, but... oh, right, of course, you're intruding in a complete stranger's home. You'd almost forgotten that this is the first time you and Jane have ever met. Your heart sinks as you consider that, between the vastness of the universe and the determination of those attempting to murder her, this might be the last time you ever meet her as well. Jane offers to show you out. On the way downstairs, you politely ask her how long it's been since her family moved here. Does she know if anyone called John used to live in this house? She gives you a strange look before gesturing to a... oh god, is that a corpse by the fireplace? You take a moment to process the fact that Jane has a stuffed human person mounted on a plinth in her living room. She says it's her papa, which you guess means grandfather. It's kind of hard to parse some of the vocabulary Jane uses sometimes. Anyway, the guy's name was John, and you can't help but see a resemblance to your good friend Egbert. Oh, time travel, right, of course there's time travel. We don't return to the same place, but different times as well. Maybe, yeah, it's been a while. You've encountered enough coincidences by now to know that this must be him, somehow. You must have traveled forwards in time by accident, or some such. This is the only possible explanation. You try very hard not to have a whole mental breakdown about your apparently long-dead friend, but sadly not hard enough. However, at the sight of your various expressions of horror, shock, and confusion, Jane perks up considerably. Did you know my dear old papa? You should have said something. He was a popular fellow, so I suppose it was only a matter of time before one of the friends from his performing heydays came to visit. That's right, Jane. Keep talking about him and your friendship in the past tense. This is totally helping you feel better. But which might you mean to say, yes, Jane, you're absolutely right. You are an old entertaining friend of her pop-ups, who just so happened to be visiting the area in the middle of the circus touring season. You try not to be too insulted when Jane eats the lie up without a moment's hesitation. Well, if one of old Pop-Up's Crocker's pals here, then I suppose I can't just turn you out on the street like some nobody. And Papa would never forgive me for giving a family friend the cold shoulder. You simply must stay a while longer. I insist. You cannot help but agree enthusiastically, and here you were thinking this volume was over before it really got started. Gee, this makes a nice change. You've grown accustomed to putting in a lot of hard work to score some hangout time with various people on your journey, but all it took to convince Jane was a pre-established connection with her apparently very wealthy relatives. It just goes to show you stuff. The sure stuff just goes to show us stuff. I'm afraid I haven't fulfilled my duties as host very well so far, but I'm determined to change that starting now. Yes, determination. But, what to do? You've been playing the game of friendship long enough by now to sense an important decision approaching. You take a quick inventory of Jane's important character details. You mean interests and personality traits. She seems to have a passion for the lost art of sleuthing and famous detectives of years past. Her imminent inheritance of a banking conglomerate and expert spoon-wielding likely indicates that she knows her way around a cake or two as well. Why don't the two of you solve a mystery? Fuck it. It's been bothering you for a while, but for someone who claims to follow in the footsteps of the very gutsiest of gumshoes, James seems pretty unmotivated to find out who's been trying to murder her all these years. Perhaps you should use the means at your disposal to finally put this mystery to rest, once and for all. You suggest to Jane that maybe you should try to ascertain who the parcel was sent by. By whom was the parcel sent? But, grammar silly, it's very important. Oh, of course. You suppose you agree with that. After all, this is a text-based medium, and shoddy craftsmanship can only ever obscure information. Proper adherence to linguistic conventions is of the utmost importance, ensuring the conveyance of salient details in a timely and comprehensible manner. But damn it, Jane, now isn't the time. You've got a case to solve. Yeah, alright, but what exactly are you proposing that we do? There's very little evidence that we could feasibly collect. The two of you look forlornly out the window again, down to where the mailbox should be. Jane is right. That avenue of investigation went up in smoke a few minutes ago. The investigation has barely gotten started and the trail has already gone cold in a blazing ball of fire. That's just asking as at the mail office are similar, but I don't suppose they'd know anything about detail about the package's origins. It's not like regular mail workers have access to that kind of information. To make matters worse, the mail's one of the few public services Crocker Corp doesn't partially own, so I wouldn't be able to pull any strings. I don't suppose there was anyone watching at the time the bomb was placed either. The cat! Fuck, the cat! You have to admit the possibility seems somewhat remote, but that gives you an idea. If there aren't any witnesses to hand, why not make some yourself? Wait, bribe someone to falsify testimony or similar? That's certainly a novel way of going about it. James seems to be giving it a lot more thought than you would have expected, but in any case that wasn't at all what you meant. You explained to Jane that, far from merely being able to transportalize between any two physical locations, you also possess the ability to time travel inficate to any point in the past or future. Not to be rude considering that you did just save my life and everything, but that does sound more than a little far-fetched. Jane seems pretty skeptical about this, but you honestly can't be bothered to work through all of her personal misgivings about belief and the feasibility of time travel right now. You've been through this with more than a dozen people already. You decide to take a more proactive approach. Seeing is believing after all. You grab her wrist and zap back in time. Let's go see John. Oh, Jane, meet past Jane. Jane, meet future Jane. You trust that this will suffice as evidence? I don't, Alright, moving on. You appearify next to the bush that you hid behind earlier and take refuge in it once again. A conveniently abandoned wristwatch on the ground nearby indicates that you have traveled an hour into the past. No sign of the white cat yet. The mailbox is there in all its beautiful, unexploded majesty, but stands empty as of right now. This is perfect. All you have to do now is wait for the truth to come to you. See, Jane, isn't this exciting? Jane? TG 911, what's your emergency? Please note that misspelled apostrophes on shop signs do not constitute an emergency. And Alone, help, I'm stuck in the past. Let me out, yes. What was it that tipped you off? Was the fact that nobody else talks like it's the 1920s? Well, no, I mean this entirely literally. I'm quite literally stuck in the past, in a temporal sense. Oh my god, wait, really? Who told you that? What is it? I bet it was that yoink in my Thunder Grid, Strider. Goddamn Strider. No, you're not listening to me. I have been transported back in time by a mysterious entity who recently saved my life from yet another ridiculous assassination attempt. Oh, okay. Damn, false alarm. I guess, wait. G-Gat can travel in time now? No, this is a different mysterious entity. They don't seem related to the God Cat as far as I can tell. Oh, that's what the White Cat was. They rescued me from parcel bomb in the mailbox a short while ago, and have since taken upon themselves to help me find out who was responsible. They're remarkably enthusiastic about the issue, almost as if it were their civic duty, somehow. So, a number of mysterious abilities, intimate knowledge of mail safety, and a compulsion to aid the random citizens. Are you sure this person isn't just your mailman Janie? I mean, who knows what kinds of magic those little guys can pull off? I'm pretty certain they have absolutely nothing to do with the profession of mail delivery in any practical sense. Anyway, the point is, we are now an hour in the past from our perspective, waiting for the perpetrator to place a bomb that a few minutes ago threatened to blow me to the kingdom come. It's all a little bit much taken. Well, shucks Buster. Shucks Buster indeed. Right. While Jane is very busy herself with something on her phone, you've been keeping a lookout for anything suspicious. So far, nothing has happened. But now, just out of sight, you can hear the telltale sound of a vehicle approaching. You quickly, gently elbow Jane in the ribs to get her attention, and the two of you peek your heads tentatively out of the bush. You watch as an unassuming van pulls up outside of the house. You keep watching as an unremarkable person gets out and carries a small pile of mail over to the mailbox, totally unsuspiciously. From this distance, you can't really make out anything about them at all. This isn't nearly as helpful or informative as you had hoped. This is no good, we can't see anything from all the way over here. I think we might have to resort to one of the more advanced tactics in every detective's arsenal. I propose that we accost this delivery worker, tie them up, and then scrupulously interrogate them for any information they might have. You guess that would work? Jane seems remarkably unconcerned with the ethical qualms inherent in assaulting a public servant, and at some point you would have found this extremely alarming, but after a few months on Alterna, you are so accustomed to this kind of thing that the thought of actually disagreeing doesn't even occur to you. Jane gets into position to lead the charge. You reach your hand into a tear in reality, rummage around for a moment, and retrieve a long length of rope from somewhere in Terezi's hive. Hopefully she won't miss it. You mutter a quick prayer of apology to the guardian deities of male workers everywhere, and then... now! Yee! The two of you leap from your hiding spot and tackle the hapless stranger just as they are about to climb back into the van. Have at you! Jane is brandishing her trusty spoon as threateningly as any sword. The poor, defenseless postman is taken completely by surprise and topples to the ground. You quickly tie their arms and legs and then zap all three of you back out of sight behind the bushes again. Then Jane sets to work. She fixes your captive with a cast iron stare and with ruthless efficiency begins to rattle off a relentless stream of astute and insightful questions. Her tongue is like a whip, beating her quarry into submission. You watch in silent horror as she verbally dismantles this unfortunate soul, piece by fearful piece. It's like watching a dozen interrogation scenes from a dozen gritty crime dramas and noir detective flicks all at once. She pretends to smoke an invisible cigar at one point, seemingly without noticing at all. You don't even have words for what she does with the spoon. When Jane finally pauses to catch her breath, the nameless and faceless courier manages to choke out a few words and spill the beans. It is scant few beans, you are sorry to say. They say they don't know much. Hell, with the dame roughing them up like that, they can't even remember their own name. But they do remember the mysterious package marked "Handle with care" and addressed to the Crocker residence. They say they remember thinking that there was nowhere else the package could have been headed. With a surname like that, it was only fitting. You know, with that big red spoon on the side of the mailbox and everything. Jane doesn't say anything else. She just stands up and unties the prisoner. They are free to go. You flash them a look which you hope says something like, "I'm sorry for helping this distressed teenager tie you up in order to satisfy her curiosity, and I appreciate your ongoing public service. But you've never been great at non-verbal communication." A notification rings out from Jane's phone. Perhaps chatting to a friend in this earth-trying time will offer her some comfort. You wander a short distance away, allowing Jane some space to process what's happening. You've learned the hard way that privacy is a fundamental right that should always be respected. Yes. How goes the investigation? Did you threaten a retail book or something yet? Oh my god, Jane, you didn't you? Goddamn, we've talked about this. Jane, are you okay? No. I can't believe that I'm typing this. The company, my company. It appears that they were the ones who sent the bomb. Oh, that would make the most amount of sense. Yeah, of course, because they would actually know about you and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, you were right about them, I suppose. You're being serious right now. You're not like pranking me super hard for the mega lols. No, of course not. I'm hardly in a joking mood. Jane, this is great. What? You finally pulled through. The batter bitch had the wool over your eyes, but no more. I'm so happy. What? No, this is awful. Oh, right, of course. What I meant was that... will you please just stop talking for a second? I can't think with your endless, ruddy-faced blithering all the time. I nearly died for the umpteenth time this morning, but survived only to have my entire worldview start to collapse before my very eyes, by way of some mysterious time travel magic. Jeez Louise, this is easy for you. In fact, this must be Christmas and birthday come early for all the three of you. You finally got what you wanted, which was to prove me wrong. Your insane collective conspiracy about my entire life being part of some evil plot looks like it might just hold water, and after all. Congratulations. Go on, say that you told me so. Here, I'll even type it out for you to copy and paste so you don't have to worry about me anymore. Ass-faced spelling errors. I told you. So. No? I'm not really sure what to say that. You're kinda scaring me. I'm sorry, this is scaring me too. Jane sighs. You guess the conversation must be taking a turn for the heavy, but you can't say for sure. You're feeling good about your decision not to pry into this private discussion. Well, we get to pry into it, so that's neat. Yeah, It would truly be some kind of fucked up to intrude at such a vulnerable moment when people are rarely seen at their best. Feels as though I'm in the middle of an ocean. Scratch that, it feels like my whole world is an ocean. Something so immense, so dark, so vast and deep that I can't even begin to imagine what might be beneath the surface. Everything that I have ever known, everything that I've ever been is sinking down into it and vanishing with nary a trace. and my only solace is to jump of my own volition before I'm pulled under by force. And what, is someone going to catch me? Help me stay afloat? The only float my best friend in the whole world has any familiarity with is flipping cocktails. Oh my god, Jane, I know you're like being kind of mean and exasperated right now, but it means a lot to hear that I'm your best friend. Really, heart. Rollo, please, I'm only trying to express the depths of my existential confusion over here. The ocean, Lalonde. The abyssal infinite ocean. Can you even imagine what that's like? On second thought, never mind. This whole knowledge is contrived and nonsensical and couldn't possibly have any emotional relevance to anyone. Another sigh. God, I'm sorry. I'm not handling this well at all. I mean, to be honest, no. I mean, who could handle this well? Your whole entire worldviews. Anyway, and before, I don't know what precise arrangement of emotional responses would even realistically qualify as, quote, handling this whale. Fish pun for topic appropriateness. Like, I guess I had like this whole plan for how I'd get you to accept the truth. And it would have worked because, let's be real, I'm a fucking genius. But also, I'm pretty sure that would have involved blowing up a whole bunch more shit, or at least mega escapades. How about shenanigans? Oh, you know it. Shenanigans out the ass. The point is, I knew that would be wild hard. Maybe hazardous to our shipping or your physical health, but I knew that you were worth it. And also for what it's worth, I don't give a effing fuck about dunking on your ass. None of us do. With the third and final half, James slumps down on the ground, visibly deflated. All the tempest and fury is gone out of her, and now she's just sitting and gazing glumly at the wall of bubblegum pink on her screen. She seems utterly miserable. You want to comfort her, to offer solace and friendly counsel in this trying time. There comes a moment in every teen's upbringing when she realizes that the globe-spanning multi-billion-dollar corporation which is her birthright has also been responsible for some pretty shady and heinous nonsense, including multiple attempts on her own life. It's just part of growing up. Sure, totally. But somehow you just can't find the words, and maybe it's not your place to comment anyway. Before you can think of something to say, Jane shakes her head and starts tapping again. Alright, that's enough sitting around feeling all forlorn. I'm feeling pretty okay, actually. No, me. I'm talking about myself. This new reality is one that I simply have to accept, whether I like it or not, and it's no good being glum about it. Especially if it leads to me to mistreat my nearest and dearest. So, I'm not going to be the leader of a worldwide megacorporation. Big deal. There are better things to be applying my savvy towards. The friends who have my back, for instance. Oh my god, Janie, I'm loving this new enthusiasm. I understand I've been remiss in my duties as of late, but that ends now. Where once I had a duty to my heritage, now I have a duty to those who care about me. The call of leadership comes from elsewhere. Oh my god, yes, those words are tough and meaningful and full of poignancy. Jane strikes a pose that looks at once determined, bold, fearless, and resolute, and all while still typing furiously away on her mobile. It just goes to show how hard she must have trained for a moment like this. And so, for my first act as a responsible friend with eyes unclouded by the sugary haze of a manipulative banking company, oh, baking empire. Fuck. Right. Goddamn, if I was banking thing for a moment there. I said that it ends here. The game in which we've been pawns for years stops today. Yes, hell yeah. I think I've rather gone off the idea of games altogether, haven't you? Specifically, the game. Hell fucking, wait, what? The alpha. I've decided that I'm not going to participate. It's a Crocker Corp product, and it's clearly part of some grand evil scheme or another. I'd be positively suicidal to consider playing it at this point. Well, yes, but what? There's no doubt in my mind about it. Furthermore, as your friend, and as one recently reminded of her duty of care in this regard, I feel like I should strongly advise against any of us playing it, or anyone at all, for that matter. Now that I think about it, it's our solemn responsibility to ensure that nobody ever gets their hands on this game. Just imagine the havoc it could wreak. We've got 1 week before the alpha is due to release. I'm certain we can think of some nefarious schemes to disrupt it in the meantime, if we work together as a team. I trust I'll be able to count on you, hacks our skills in this endeavor. I am sure, completely accidental lack of excitement. My skills are yours to command. I knew it, you're the best BFC one could ever hope for. Interesting. Jane clears her throat, pockets the phone, and seems to have reached some kind of conclusion. That chat looked from the outside like it was one huge emotional journey from start to finish. You're glad that Jane seems to be feeling better for having had it, whatever they ended up talking about. Sometimes all you need is a friend to vent things towards in a healthy and productive manner. Yes, venting is good. Don't hold stuff in. I suppose I should thank you again. Without your help, I may never have learned the truth. It's quite possible I would have lived out the rest of my potentially very short life without another opportunity to see things for what they really are. I don't think I know how I shall ever repay you. Since nothing today has changed the fact that Jane is ludicrously wealthy, you can think of a great number of ways that she could feasibly repay you, but that might just be pushing it a little too far at all at once. So instead, you effortlessly spin some yarn about this being what friends are for, and so on. It's a speech you've given many, many times before. I've depended on you for a great deal, but now I think it's time to forge my own path and under my own steam. I'll show you the world what Jane Crocker can accomplish with naught but her two bare hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an existential crisis to avert. Existential crisis, be gone. Ye. Okay, well, sure. Neat. Alright, you go, girl. Deal with this mega corporation. Well, that was neat. That was neat. Alright, excellent. That was neat. Okay, I like Jane. She's nice. She's a good kid. But the other person. Didn't like her quitting the game, huh? That's interesting. I guess we'll find out who this other person is. I mean, we already saw the one of them is the we saw this little icon here. It's one of them, but we'll get to that afterwards. We'll get to that a bit later. Now I need a moment, and then I'll be right back with the next volume. Cheers.